Chris. I'm getting ready for my show. I don't need interruptions right now. Yeah, and you're gonna stop playing basketball because I can hear everything you're fucking doing. Okay? Thank you. I don't care, Chris. You know it's showtime, bud. Stop playing basketball, please.
Check.
Hello there. This
How's
is
it going?
Campbell.
Getting the video turned on here. There we go.
I can see you. How are you, Tim?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good. If you
I like
hear
your
a little,
desk.
thank you. Yeah, it's works. It's all in one, you know. If I can just continue to convince my wife that this is a desk, that'll work well for me. So you look good. What I usually do here, thank you for coming on my show, by the way. If you hear a little echo, it's just because I'm using another device. And when I start the show, I start it screen sharing. And so you hear that echo, but you won't when it starts. So fear not. What I usually do is a little bit of a audio check with guitar, singing kind of thing, just to make sure stuff's working. So if you're able to just play, a few verses or something, whatever, it doesn't matter.
We go out. I got to pull these earphones out to do that.
All right. So what I'm hearing, good guitar, not enough vocals. I don't know if
it's got the little delay in it. So when I'm singing, I'll probably take these out.
Okay.
We go out on a boat and under the waves, catching spiny lobster on a mini season day. Put them in a bag and take them to the top. Grabbing them by hand.
All right. That's good. Still not enough vocals. Guitar's good. I don't know. Maybe bring the guitar down a little. Are you miking both your guitar and your vocals?
It's all going through a mixer.
Yeah. So bring up your vocals more.
Okay.
I'd keep the guitar the same right now and just more vocal. Yeah. I'm no sound guy, so
check.
I'm just telling you what I hear.
Check.
With my Princess Leia earphones on.
Check. That should be a little closer.
Nice background, by the way.
I like that. It's one of the Margaritavilles somewhere.
That's the best background yet, ever.
All right, let me see if this sounds a little better.
All right.
We go out on a boat and then under the waves, catching spiny lobster on a mini season. How's that?
Good. Are you like the vocals and guitar are good? Are you peaking at all, or can you bring up the master volume?
I can. Does it sound like it's overdriving a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull it back. Check. Okay, so let's try that.
Sure.
We go out on a boat and then under the waves, catching spiny lobster on a mini season day.
Good. I think that's pretty good. It sounds good from this end. You enabled original sound.
What's that?
Were you you didn't use enable original sound because you're using an interface, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're good to go. Talk a little bit. Just make sure the vocal mic's good.
Okay. This is Tim testing out the vocal mic to see if it's going to work.
On Zoom, there's a little audio test you can do. I don't know if you ran that just to make sure you're not peaking. But I don't think you are.
Is it on the audio settings?
Yeah, it's like an auto. If you open it up, it's like test your, vocals, test your speaker kind of thing, and it shows you if you're peaking or if you're too low.
Okay,
it's under audio.
Test mic.
Yeah, test mic.
Test. Looks like I'm low enough.
Okay, so it's not peaking out. Good. Maybe try that with you singing and guitar just as one final test to make sure
okay.
you're not peaking out.
We go out on a boat and then under the waves, catching spiny lobster on a mini season day. Put them in a bag and take them to the top, grabbing them by hand, not putting out a pot.
Nice. I think it's good. I mean, if it shows there that you're about 3/4 of the way up in the green,
yeah,
you should be good.
I'll keep an eye on the I'm using vMix to kind of blend the video and the audio.
Yeah, you're good. I mean, I sound stronger, and it's just because I'm here and I'm running through my interface, but um, it should balance out fine.
Good.
And the great thing about the radio end of it is I can pull it all into Logic and adjust levels and stuff. I've done that in the past. So
Cool. And if I am hot, don't hesitate to let me know.
yeah, I will. Sometimes you can leave that audio setting open and just leave it open and see how you're doing with it. But
Okay.
if you're playing and singing and it's not peaking, that's your peak anyway. So I think you're going to be fine.
Cool.
So how it goes, I do a little like 20-second intro and then bang, we're right in. I got a lot of questions. It usually goes for an hour. I try to keep it light. I try to insert humor. Sometimes my guests get my humor. Sometimes they don't. But that's showbiz, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
And, usually my guests will play like 2 or 3 of their original songs. We have time for that. So if you have time to play 2 or 3 originals, we'd love to hear that.
Cool.
And I actually can adjust, as you're playing your original, I can adjust the output master live. And so I can bring you up during that time.
Okay.
If I feel like it's too low.
So it's best to be a little low than too high.
Yeah. You'd know a lot better than I would, but some people would actually argue that differently.
Yeah.
It's better to be high than too low, right?
Yeah.
But any regard, I did a good amount of research. I have some good questions planned here, and so we're just going to start it. So how I have to actually go over to my computer, launch Zoom to Facebook Live, plug in a couple things, and then I come back here and I screen share the intro, and so it usually works out pretty well. So I'm going to do that right now. Here we go.
Okay. All right.
Heard of the sunset blues? That's when I met you.
Welcome, everybody. This is Tiki Tim at Tiki Tim's Trop Rock Tributes. Hopefully you can see me here. I think so. And if not, we'll just look at that Tiki Tim's Trop Rock Tribute screen for the next hour. But I think it's gone. My real name is Tim Kane. I'm the drummer with the Island Castaways Band. We're in Charlton, Mass., which is a little bit outside of Worcester and a little bit further outside of Boston, Mass. And it's my great honor tonight because my wife reminded me last week that I'm just rambling way too much at the beginning of these shows, and just knock it off and introduce your guests. And so I'm going to do that. Mr. Tim Campbell is with us tonight from, I believe, Weston, Virginia. if that's not
Yes.
right. How are you
Just
doing,
outside
Tim?
of D.C. It's called Northern Virginia. I don't know why, because I'm from even further north than this. So
So so you're not from Western Virginia, you're from Northern Virginia.
I'm actually from Winchester, which is right on the West Virginia border. So that's where I was born and raised, up in the mountains there.
All right. Well, you said just outside. Did you say D.C.?
Yeah, right now I live just outside of D.C., but I grew up in the mountains, right up next to the West Virginia border.
All right. So a lot of people don't understand, how close Virginia is to Washington D.C. Really, it's pretty close. I mean, how long of a drive is it to D.C.?
Oh, it's probably 35 minutes, 35 minutes. I'm just where the suburbs meet the country. I live right on that like borderline there.
Okay.
It's the best place to be. You go this way, you go to the city, you go that way, you're heading to the mountains.
That's cool. Let me ask you, Tim. Can you see me, or you still see my intro screen?
Nope, I can see you, sir.
All right. Yeah, I'm having some issue here, but if you can see me, that means everyone can see us, and that's a good thing. It's sounding good, and I like to jump right into the toughest questions of all, and I got a lot of them tonight for you, sir. In some of the research I did on you and your band, you're a so-called alligator wrestler, and so I want to hear the story. Do you actually wrestle with alligators, Tim?
No, that kind of goes way back to when I was in the Marine Corps. I had a business card made up that said I was an alligator castrator. So I thought I'd make it an alligator wrestler. So my day job is boring. I'm an IT guy, so I thought it'd sound more exciting if I was an alligator wrestler.
All right, so you're an IT guy. That means you make a lot of money. Times are
Negative
good.
on that. Not enough. Not enough to make music.
Well, I know, quite a few IT guys just around here in Massachusetts, and it could be a tough trade. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's layoffs. You're going to move, from company to company to just keep it going. But I do know the IT people I know, they're super smart people. They're a little dorky, but they're smart.
Yeah, some of us aren't so smart though.
But okay, so you're admitting you're dorky then.
I'm on the dorky end, the nerdy dorky end of IT. But being in IT, it does, with the green screen, I had to get, when we were doing our live shows, I had to buy like this pimped out gaming computer because the video trying to process video through my old computer just wasn't working. So it was a lot of trial and error and testing, and when IT, you test before you put it out there. So I did bring those philosophies into this.
All right, to get this thing going was like 6 months of just trial and error. It's a technological and scientific feat what's going on here in this studio right now. Let me tell you. So let's move on from the alligator wrestler because that question went absolutely nowhere.
Well, like I say, it goes back to when I was in the Marine Corps. Like I said, I had those business cards, and like my day job is boring, so I had to make it exciting.
Well, let's stop there. You were in the Marine Corps, and thank you for your service. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. When did you serve, and what position, and where were you assigned in the Marine Corps?
I'm really going to age myself here because I joined the Marine Corps right out of high school in 1987, and I served for 6 years and worked on helicopters the whole time I was in there. And I was lucky enough. Actually, I'm from Virginia. I got stationed in Virginia for 5 out of my 6 years. And the white tops that land on the south lawn of the White House, that's what I worked on for 5 years.
Wow. Well, I mean, first to get an assignment in your home state, that's pretty rare, right? I mean, you don't normally get that in the military.
I'm probably one of the only Marines that spent 5 years or 6 years in the Marine Corps and had his mom doing his uniforms.
I'm sure she pressed those well,
Oh, she got good at the creases, and getting my camis just right.
She sounds like a very proud mom. Well, thank you again for your service. You got I was reading up on what's upcoming for you. You got a big gig. It looks like a big gig on June 12th from 6 to 10 p.m. But it looks like it's up at Campbell's Amphitheater in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I will note that one of your fans pointed out that you spelled Pittsburgh wrong.
Well, my wife is from West Virginia, so any chance she gets to get a dig into Pittsburgh, she's going to take it.
All right.
She does all of my graphics.
All right, so I'm fine with that. You're not a Steelers fan because, of course, I'm a Patriots fan and I can't stand the Steelers, so I'm good with that. That's fine. No
Well,
offense.
you're not gonna like this. I'm a Dolphins fan, so I'm not a real big fan of this,
Don't give me
the Patriots.
We could spend a half an hour in the NFL. Let's not go there just yet. So that gig, first of all, do you have any relation to Campbell Amphitheater? Because you have the same last name, right?
I do not. We call each other cousin. As George Campbell up there in Pittsburgh, we're like, oh, hey, what's up, cuz? What's up, cuz? But no relation at all. And I've wanted to play the Pine Creek Amphitheater since the first time I'd seen it. It was open, and it looks like a great venue. He's got a lot of the big names coming in there this year, so I'm glad to be among good company playing there this summer.
What's the setup at that amphitheater? You know, how many seats? What kind of crowd are you expecting?
Yeah. I don't know what his capacity is. I don't know if he hasn't told me that yet. He's got it looks like a pretty big yard back there with a deck for the stage, and it does look like an amphitheater because the hill just comes right up, and I'm betting he could hold quite a few. It looks like a big yard, but I don't know the exact number.
All right, cool. So that, again, for any fans in the Pittsburgh area, that's June 12th from 6 to 10 p.m. So my follow-up to that, is this your first big gig in a while, out of state?
Yes, as a matter of fact, since I actually went down to Key West last November, and Millie was down there. Shore Life Radio did everything at First Flight, and spent a few days there. Had a lot of gigs. I think I may have taken advantage of a lot of the Trot Rockers not going down there, so I was a very busy person down in Key West.
We'll get to that in a minute. That's some of my questions later on, but where in Virginia are you right now? Like, what town, what city are you based in? Just for, like I plugged the show with the, correct me if I'm wrong, it's either West Virginia or Northern Virginia Parrot Head Club. We try to push the show out to as many Parrot Head clubs across the country as we can. So anyone watching from Virginia, they would love to know a little bit about where you live and your town or city.
I live in a little town called Bristow, Virginia. It's the place that people recognize most is Manassas, is what I'm closest to. So just outside of there, a lot of Civil War history in this area. So it's a good place to come visit. A lot of the battlefields are cool, and you can like walk around and go jogging, biking, all kind of stuff. But like I say, it's a real cool place right on the cusp of where the suburbs of DC meet the mountains. So it's like a perfect little spot to be nestled outside of Florida. Well, I think Florida is where I would rather be, especially in the wintertime.
I'm pretty familiar with Northern Virginia. I don't know all the towns and cities, but when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time in Washington, D.C., and particularly in Kensington, Maryland, which is just outside of D.C. It's a suburb of D.C., really, right next to Chevy Chase. And my grandfather lived there his whole life with his grandparents. Turns out, quick story, my grandfather was a career CIA agent. He worked for the CIA his entire life down in Virginia. I think it's Langley, Virginia. Langley, yeah, he worked down there. And when I was a kid, I'd spend every summer in D.C. with him. I love my grandfather like my dad. And he would get up in the morning, and I'd hear the trash truck pulling up, the big trash truck every morning collecting trash. And I always associated him with going to work for the trash company. Until many years later, I saw these awards from John F. Kennedy and other presidents that were given to him for his service, his career service in the Central Intelligence Agency. So there's my long story short of Northern Virginia and D.C. A lot of very fond memories down there. So
well, he probably did a whole lot of really cool stuff that you'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, he went through some tumultuous times. I mean, he went through the whole Cold War, Vietnam, the JFK assassination. He was actually in records management, and so he had to go through all the top secret records and figure out how to record them and then file them. So he actually knew a lot of stuff. Wow. I had to read a lot of things.
All the cool stuff came across his desk, I'm sure.
Maybe. No one will truly ever know.
No.
But
I
let's
always
move.
look at it as they're like the military, but you'll never know, how much they do for us because it all has to be kept under wraps. It's hard. It's an underappreciated job, I think.
Oh, it totally is, and there's a lot of heroes working for the CIA and other intelligence agencies in the country that no one will ever know the lengths they go for their service to the country, for sure. So moving on, between this upcoming gig and your Key West gigs, you kind of had a thing on Facebook called
Quarantine.
Quarantine Virtual Concerts, and you did a lot of those, right?
We started last March is when we started putting everything here, the Campbell World Headquarters Studios, I call it, with if you could see right now, I got the lights on the green screen, I got lights in front of me, cameras, laptops, mixers, all sitting right here in front of me. So it like I said, it took a lot of trial and error to get the sound, the video, and everything right, which those pains.
Oh,
But we've been doing that
yeah.
for a year, and we've had a lot of guests come over to the house. Emily Randall came over.
Yep.
Coastal Steel Band out of Baltimore came over. Dave McKinney. So
Dave. Yeah.
it's been a little.
I'm still trying to get Emily on the show. She agreed, and then I don't know what happened, but maybe one of these days we'll get her on. She's a great violin player. She's also in the military, I believe. She's like a high-ranking, like general or lieutenant.
She's a sergeant major down in Arlington. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't mess with her. So, was it? I mean, staying on the Facebook thing for a second. How the transition going from playing live everywhere with solo and with your band, the Tropical Attitudes band, to going so totally with songwriters, with your band members, with guests, to a virtual environment. How tough of a transition was that? Did your fans follow you there? Was it a lonely place? Do you feel sad right now?
Well, actually, we have had so much fun with it, and even it's been a way for us to keep contact with people we normally wouldn't keep contact during those periods when we're not, down in Florida or doing one of the beach bashes or something like that. So it's actually been a thing that's kind of kept us connected, with all our friends around the country, because we got like Kay Kutch out in California, and of course Jeanette and Mike down in Florida, and Lisa and all the crew down there, Jackie. So it's been a way to really every week we all gather virtually, play into a camera. Took some getting used to, and then after a year of that, I've done a couple of live gigs. Playing in front of people can be a little nerve-wracking now.
All right. Well, we've all had a lack of severe shortage of gigs in the last year. And sometimes people tell me that my headphones make me look like Princess Leia on the show, but I
can see
that.
I
don't have the fancy inset iPod, whatever. So this is low budget here with these earphones, but I apologize to my fans for that. One thing that jumped out of me in reading your bio and reading a little bit more about you was you have a real charitable passion inside of you beyond your own military service. Tell me a little bit more about the Back to the Island Society.
That is a new society formed by Dan Smith, who he's got his own radio station down on 104.9 in Key West now on Friday nights. And the Back to the Island Society wanted to kind of really boost the charities that Jimmy Buffett has either started or he's been a big supporter of, like Save the Manatees. And there's one for veterans. What was it called? The Last Mango, where they take wounded veterans out and they go on fishing trips and stuff like that. So these guys put this together and it has just taken off. So if anybody wants to go to backtotheisland.org, join up. You get some cool stuff. You get all kinds of like I say, there's all kinds of swag you can get on there. They got real cool shirts like Hey Gardner McKay shirts and oysters and beer, and they like to take Buffett quotes, and Buffett himself has taken his picture with an oysters and beer shirt on. So
nice.
They've really got some traction right out of the gate. You
Is
know, I
there?
love working for charities, in particular charities, you know, for veterans. And I'm also a sucker for animals. I spent over a decade working with an animal rescue. So my house is the island of misfit cats.
All right. Um, so sticking on back to the Island Society, there's I guess, a Key West contest coming up. What's that about?
Yeah, if you and that could help me out actually. So if you join the Back to the Island Society, you're automatically entered for a free trip to Key West for, and that's during Meeting of the Mind. So that's not like an off-season thing. So you can win that trip. And if you use my name when you sign up, Tim, my first name, make sure and put that in there. That helps me out toward winning some prizes for myself.
All right, cool. Um, people can check that out. That's a great organization to support.
Indeed.
Um, let's move on to the Tropical Attitudes Band for a second. I listened on the way back. I'm a drum circle facilitator as well as a drummer, and so I go and bring a bunch of djembes and jam out with whomever I can, and make a little bit of bread doing that. And on the way back, I was checking out some of your Quarantine, or whatever you're calling it,
Tim's.
Quarantine show, and I listened to one of the full-length shows coming back from Boston the other day. And what struck me really, let's start with your drummer, I think, who was playing on that show was Jim Parker.
Yes.
It just is such a backbeat, solid, groove-oriented drummer. I was inspired by him. Tell me a little bit about Jim.
Oh, Jim is awesome. Plus, we get to do all our rehearsals over at his house. He's got this sweet space downstairs. But his background, he's came out of New York and he retired. Luckily, he lives a mile from my house here, and he is an amazing drummer. When he sinks his teeth into when we're learning a new song, he is the most obsessive guy in the band about wanting it to be right. So he's very obsessive, and his background is more kind of like blues, classic rock, kind of jazz stuff. And I'm always you ever see the movie Whiplash?
Unfortunately, yes.
I always like to treat him like that guy. Are you rushing or are you dragging?
Oh, you're the professor, the music professor, the hard ass on the drummer for rushing or lagging behind. Is that you?
Yes, he never should have pointed. He never should have told me I need to watch that movie because I thought that movie was great. And yeah, I'm like that. And I'm like, play Carnival.
You sound like my lead guitarist, Paul, who has perfect time and makes me pull my hair out sometimes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the night we had the whole band there, you talk about technical difficulties. Well, the for some reason the laptop took over the sound and kind of hosed it up. So I got to get the whole band back over here, and we'll nail it this time.
Well, is Jim the one in at least the episode I listened to of your Facebook show that he's screaming in the background every few songs?
Probably.
Who is that?
Screaming in the background. That's gotta be him.
He was screaming at the top of his lungs. I mean, it went, All right, let's move on. So some of the other bandmates in your band, tell me about them as well. Who's, it's actually, I was checking out, I'll get to it in a little bit later, but let's just jump there now. David Marks. That's his name. He plays what? Lead guitar, and he plays backing vocal. He sings backup vocals for you primarily.
Yes. Yeah, he's great because he is, parrot head through and through. His family is his brother and him. His brother is one of the organizers of the Midwinter Meltdown here in Virginia. But David, he has such a passion for Buffett because the band is Buffett tribute. And there's no doubt about that with some of my songs thrown in there, but it's mostly a Buffett tribute thing. And Dave, he learns things, and like I say, he lives the life. And whenever I'm playing gigs solo, sometimes I'll ask him to come out and we'll do a duo, and he'll come over to the house to do the Quarantine shows. And he's just great. He's like the nicest guy you're ever going to meet. And it's nice to have band members with no drama. And that's what the Tropical Attitudes are right now. We're a bunch of guys just like get out there, have fun, play some Buffett, try to get people up dancing. And it's just a great time.
All right. So what jumped out at me when I was listening to a few of your tunes, with respect to David Marks and his backup vocals, is you guys are playing Margaritaville. I've never heard a backup vocalization like David did, at least in that performance on Margaritaville. Like he was dancing between octaves and just found like the perfect next up note, whatever that note was, to what you were doing. I've heard Margaritaville played a ton of times. I've never heard a backup vocalization like that. It was tremendous.
Yeah, not and Patty, my wife, is always saying just how great our voices, blend together. And I love playing with him because I know just how great his harmonies are. But on top of that, he's a really good singer himself. Just he likes to sing, like "Last Flying Boat" from Scott Kirby. That's one of my favorites. And when he and I do some Mac McAnally songs like Amarillo's Son, he's just perfect for that.
Yeah, he's definitely got the gift of singing and lead guitar playing as well. Who's your bass player?
Oh, the bass player, that's big sexy Will Horning.
Wait a minute. All right, big sexy Will. What?
Will Horning. He's a big dude.
So
Makes me look little.
hold on. So his name is Big Sexy Will Horny.
Will Horning.
Oh, Horning. Oh, sorry.
Will Horning.
I got it wrong.
Although I'm gonna rename him that now.
Well, when I heard it, I was like, you call him sexy because his last name is Horny.
No.
No, all right.
But no, yeah, he was a great addition as well because he loves surf music and he's a Buffett trivia guy and he likes all the deep cuts from Buffett as well, and just anything beach related he is in. And he's one of those just solid guys that he's going to show up for a gig and he's going to nail it for you. So I always try to say that the Tropical Attitudes might be the best Buffett tribute band in the country.
Wow.
That's aside from me anyway.
Well, we've attempted Jimmy Buffett trivia here, and it's failed miserably with a number of guests who are just stupefied by simple questions like, for instance, who is the longtime drummer for Jimmy Buffett? Go.
You talking about Roger Guth?
Thank you. Da, 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 da.
See, I'm a fan of Roger Guth singing.
You win. No one else has answered that question correctly. I almost canceled the program once on somebody because they didn't.
Well,
get
he's got that new song out with Peter Mayer that is super cool. And Summer working on a summer. He's a good singer in his own right, and with some real cool vibes.
Nice. Well, more on that later, but that's good to hear. That's a first. Who else is in your band? Do you have a pedal steel? Do you have a horn player? A keyboard?
We have a keyboard player that does all that stuff.
All right.
Thank God for keyboard players.
That saves
And,
a boatload of money right there.
Jimmy's new to the band, and he's just now getting up to speed on our set list. He was on the full band Quarantine show. Was it like 2 or 3 weeks ago? So he was on that. He's getting up to speed, but he is a phenomenal keyboard player, and he's just a great addition. He also has some killer vocals. We can do some 3-part harmonies with him, David, and myself in there.
Nice. How long has this current grouping of musicians you just talked about been together? Is this the original or the latest grouping?
We started 4 years ago, and we had a different bass player. But after like 1 year, Will joined us, and Will's dedicated because he drives here from Maryland to do rehearsals. So that is dedication. When we first brought him on, and I was like, man, he lives in Maryland. I'm like, how long is he going to want to make that drive? But he's been dedicated. And so he came on like after the first year. And Jimmy, the keyboard player, our keyboard player left last summer. So we brought on Jimmy. So he's the newest one. But other than that, David, myself, and Jim, we've been there since the beginning.
Cool. So last question on the band front until we get into some other things later on. What is it like working for you?
Working for me, that's got to be hell. That's got to be the toughest part. Because
well, I mean,
when
you
it comes
described
to musical talent,
you described your drummer as kind of the perfectionist, the writing the ship type of guy in the band. How do you fit in?
How do I fit in? I'm just the goofy guy out front. That's my job. It's just to get up there and do what I do, which is mostly be goofy. And I can bang on this guitar a little bit. You know, I'm an okay guitar player. I'm an okay singer, and just hope people have fun along with me. And that seems to be the case. So okay, I'll keep doing it.
So you mentioned Dave McKenney. Of course, Dave was on the show last season. This is the second season of the show, episode, I don't know, 5 or 6 or something like that. Are you buddies with Dave?
We've kind of grown closer to Dave over the last year, and especially when he came up here and we hung out with him. He let me sing in with him and Flip Flop Republic when they were playing at Hank's down in Key West. So, you know, just kind of, he has a super smooth voice. I wish I had a voice like his. But yeah, we've kind of grown tighter, and you know, I want to work with him some more. And he's actually got me some gigs down around the Williamsburg, you know, Richmond area. So he referred me down there and getting me a little work down that way.
All right, so you guys are buds.
Yeah, we're buds. I'll say we're buds. I don't know if he'll say that, but I'll say it.
Well, he's watching, so you know, tread carefully here on that one. So before COVID, you seemed, I was looking back, I went through your Facebook page and just went back in time to 2020 and almost to 2019 just to check out what you guys are doing. And before COVID hit last March and all that, you seem to be playing Key West quite a bit. Smokin' Tuna comes to mind as one of the venues. Of course, Scott Kirby was one of the original founders of Smokin' Tuna. Tell me a little bit about Smokin' Tuna. Give me a couple of stories from Key West.
Yeah, the story of how I even got into Smokin' Tuna goes back to before, you know, I was playing at Meeting of the Minds is when I first started playing guitar. Scott Kirby comes here and does a benefit concert for a place called the Rainbow Therapeutic Riding Center, where they have kids in there, and they have like disabled veterans, and they do a lot of good work over there at the Rainbow Center. And he and Peter Mayer, you know, come through town, and they put on a show. So I met Scott Kirby there, and Emily plays with Scott and Peter all the time. So the guy that taught me to play guitar was in the Army band with Emily. So there's this whole connection, you know, everything is intertwined there. So then I go down to Key West and I always take my guitar. And one day I emailed Charlie and Scott and said, hey, can I play? You know, I just give me a time slot. I don't need any money. Just give me a time slot. Because that stage at Smokin' Tuna is small, not real small, but it has a lot of pedigree. And I wanted to play on that stage where, you know, the Zach Brown has been up there, Montgomery Gentry, all on that stage. And for music, it's hard to beat the Smokin' Tuna when you go down to Key West. They just seem to have the best talent. It's a cool vibe sitting back there. So they gave me a 2-hour slot in the afternoon, and I made probably more in tips in that afternoon than I normally make getting paid for a gig. And so then every year after that, they kind of let me come back, and I, you know, with really getting involved in Trop Rock and going down there for Meeting of the Minds. Andy Forsyth was one of the first guys from Beachfront Radio who grabbed my song Island Time and put it on air. He was the very first, as a matter of fact. And that kind of got the ball rolling. So he actually asked me to host the Welcome to the Island party last year. Danny Rosado was supposed to do it, but I think he was having RV troubles. I think he was stuck in Alabama. So Andy said, hey, you want to host over here at the Smokin' Tuna? So I've got the play shows there. And, you know, even on off weeks, not Meeting in the Minds, they've brought me in, and I've done some shows there at the Tuna. Absolutely my favorite place. They also have the webcams up. So all your friends from wherever, you let them know when you're going to be on stage there, and they'll harass me via the internet.
What's your favorite meal at Smokin' Tuna?
My favorite meal? Oh, man. The fritter, the conch fritters there. I'm a conch fritter nut. So.
All right. All right. So I've never had a conch fritter. I mean, I kind of have an idea of what it is, but what consists of a conch fritter? What is in?
It's like a hush puppy, but it's got conch in it. And if you get the right, like, remoulade sauce with that, it can be amazing. So they're good there, but probably one of my favorites, there's a little trailer that sells conch fritters over by the museum. And that trailer has some really good conch fritters. And the guy goes, "Oh, you want the recipe for the sauce? Give me your phone." And I was like, "Yeah, I want that recipe." And I thought it was going to be a joke, but he actually took a picture of the back of the wall with the recipe for their sauce. I, I was like surprised he actually gave that up. But anyway, back to the smoking tuna.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the lineup isn't in there for this year, but that's a priority for mine is to try and get on that show for Welcome to the Island Sunday. I actually played the Jim Morris tribute there last year.
Oh, really?
I got to be a part of that.
Wow, you've been around, man. Key West is the place you need to be.
I try not to let the grass grow under my feet. So.
Nice phrase. I like that. So what's your family life like? Are you stressed out or just chilling?
I think I'm overly chilled. I think I sometimes might drive my wife a little nutty, but I say I'm chilled, but I'm always into something, and I don't do anything just a little bit. I got to do it a bunch. So like last year, when work was shut down and everything, I said, I'll do a little work on the truck. I ended up ripping all the fuel system out and tore the engine apart and put it all back together.
Did you learn that in the Marines?
No, I learned that when I was in the Marine Corps. Some friends of mine were into drag racing, so they said, "Hey, you want to go drag racing? Let's bring your Nova out." So I used to go drag racing every Friday night when I was in a station at Quantico, and that's when I started tearing cars apart, and I love doing that stuff.
So
and
did you
since
guys,
I'm a geek, I mess with radios and all that stuff too.
All right, so you have a technical aptitude, as they say. So when you did drag racing, was it at a real course, or you like out on the open road, just kind of going for it?
We had a few grudge races back in industrial parks. I probably shouldn't admit that, but mostly, yeah, we would go to Old Dominion Speedway in Manassas on Friday nights, or we go to Summer Duck Dragway on Thursday nights for grudge nights. And so, yeah, we did a lot of racing, not super competitive because I never had the money when I was in the Marine Corps to build a good car.
Did you have a car though? I mean, did you have an active racing drag?
I just took my street car out there and would drag it until the motor blew. And then we'd have to swap it out, and I'd have to catch rides to work with other people.
What was your street car, if you don't mind me asking?
It's a 1977 Nova.
All right.
It's the car I learned to drive in. I still have it. It's out here in the driveway right now.
Not well known. Did you pimp it up at all? I mean, did you go V6 to V12 or?
It actually had a 305 V8 in it. And when that blew, kind of the motor and the tranny went at the same night, and I didn't know it. The transmission went out, and when I went to drain the oil, a bunch of antifreeze came out, which is not a good sign. So I swapped out the motor. Of course, I put in a 350 and a better, stronger transmission, B&M strip kit. Then I had a pavement oval, which isn't real good for drag racing, but I like that low, being able to hug the corners kind of car. So I actually had a track suspension put on it, so it rides like a war wagon, but it can corner real well.
It sounds like the time I blew out a head gasket on my car and patched it up for about 6 months.
As a matter of fact, I have a head gasket that has to go in my Blazer. It started steaming out the tailpipe. I'm like, oh no,
that's the worst smell. It's the worst smell in the world. All right, so we always try to do a thing called rapid fire questions, and so what I'm doing, I'm really to use a prop. I'm fishing for answers here. Okay? I'm fishing for answers, and so what I'm looking for, you have 5 seconds to answer each question, or the program's canceled. And so I'll just rapid fire the questions, and you got to respond within 5 seconds when we move on. What is your favorite drink?
My favorite drink, that is, well, I hate to say it, but it's Coca-Cola or a margarita if it's leaded.
All right. That's 5 seconds. What's your favorite Jimmy Buffett song?
My favorite Jimmy Buffett song is Tin Cup Chalice. That's the one that just hits me on the inside. Always thinking about Mallory Square.
What is your favorite guitar?
My favorite guitar is this D18, a Martin D18 that my wife got for me. I spent 2 years looking for a used one. She got tired of me going into pawn shops, and she bought me a brand new one.
Well, that, my friend, is just a rarity for a wife to go out and buy an instrument for their significant other. Usually it's the other way around, and you're trying to hide your tracks from your wife.
I have
and your
5
wife
Martins,
stinks.
and I've only bought one of them myself.
This is a tough one. Who is your favorite, and you don't have to answer it, but who is your favorite bandmate?
My favorite bandmate, I'm going to say Jim because he's the glue that holds it all together.
Nice. I like that. Favorite pet? Do you have a pet?
That's my boy Tony sleeping on the couch right over here next to me, and he's the cat dog. He's always normally during the quarantine shows he'll be coming up and grabbing at my pants, wanting me to pick him up during the shows.
So is it a dog or a cat?
It's a cat.
All right.
I found him up on the road, and he and I just bonded.
Favorite gig?
Favorite gig? Oh my goodness, that's got to be Smoking Tuna during Meeting of the Minds. That's my favorite place to play, no matter what gig it is down there. That's just my favorite.
Last question. I think I already know the answer, but what is your favorite food?
My favorite food? I always like a good steak, a good filet mignon. Going back to the favorite gig, I got to revise my answer because Margaritaville night at Nats Park, they've hired us 3 times to play at for the Washington Nationals down there for Margaritaville nights. That is an incredible gig to get.
Why? Why is that? We'll move on from the 5-second rule. Why is that an incredible gig to get?
It's at the stadium. It's at Nats Park, and you just have they had a set up in the center field plaza, and we were all set up before they opened the gates. So when you look out, you have a city block going back, a city block to the left, a city block to the right, full of people. So there's like 30,000 people out there waiting to get in.
Sounds awesome. Let me ask you, it looks like you're wearing, correct me if I'm wrong, is that a Shore Life Radio t-shirt?
Indeed.
So
I like
this show appears on Shore Life Radio. Shore Life Radio sponsors the show. I don't have any t-shirts or any kind of garb from Millie from Shore Life. And now there's evidence that it's actually out there. And how do I get my hands on a Shore Life Radio t-shirt?
I know I have connections. Maybe I'll let Millie know she needs to get you some swag. Yeah, she I'm actually playing or emceeing and playing at the Shore Life Sweet 16 bash down in Jacksonville Beach in August.
Oh, nice. Tell me a little bit. What is that all about? I'm not familiar with that. I'm new to Shore Life, so I don't know all of their gigs.
Yeah, they've been around for 16 years, and this is their Sweet 16 birthday year. So Millie's putting together, and the Flip Flop Republic and I are helping her put together a gig down in Jacksonville Beach at the Hampton Inn Oceanfront, August 20th through the 22nd. So anybody that is annoyed by me probably not going to have a good time. But if you want to come have fun with me, then that's going to be the place to be, because I'll be emceeing for 3 days and co-hosting with Flip Flop Republic. Those guys are amazing.
Well, you've written a number of songs yourself. Obviously your band, the Tropical Attitudes, plays a lot of Jimmy Buffett and other trop rock covers. But you've also written a number of originals, which you've shared with me. Very impressive. I wonder if maybe, since you have that sweet guitar, you can play a few, maybe 2 or 3 of your own originals. And before you do, just tell me a little bit about each song, just where the idea came from, what the lyrics are about.
Okay, I'll be popping the ear in and out when I play, so I can hear it. But this first one I'm playing is called Saltwater Playground, and it's an apparel company down in Florida. And I was just like, it would be an amazing song, because we're all in this saltwater playground. So I wrote this song around it, and my wife sent it over to the company, and they're like, "Oh, this is great. Can we work together?" So I got a lot of I'm working with Saltwater Playground Apparel Company now. They actually did a video for this. I went down to Florida in January to shoot a bunch of footage. It's like 99.5% done. It should be released in just days now. And so this song to me is just everything that we do. It's a song about, going down there for mini season, spiny lobster mini season, surfing and fishing. So this one's called Saltwater Playground.
Flew out on a boat and then under the waves, catching spiny lobster on a mini season day. Put them in a bag and take them to the top, grabbing them by hand, not putting out a pot. Rounding up bugs takes a lot of skill, but 2 hours later we can pop them on the grill. Hanging with my friends on a Saturday night, laughing and drinking by the firelight. I love the wind, the water, the waves, and the sun. I'm living my life just trying to have fun. Lucky Jack and I are just hanging around. Life is good in my saltwater playground. Now there's a 6-foot swell and an offshore breeze. Jack calls me up and says, when do we leave? We load up our boards in his beat up old truck, down to the inlet where we'll test our luck. Wiping down our boards with Mr. Zoll's wax. Duck dive a couple times and we're popping out the back. Dropping in, trying to catch a tube in the green rooms where I found the fountain of youth. I love the wind, the water, the waves, and the sun. I'm living my life just trying to have fun. Lucky Jack and I are just hanging around. Life is good in my saltwater playground. Go to my church down by the sea. The good Lord seems to be smiling on me. Watch the sun coming up and I hope and I pray He'll bless me by giving me one more day. We're from a boat to shore or off of a pier. I love going fishing year after year. The sun's beating down and our lines are getting wet. I think to myself, this is as good as it gets. We reel them all in and head back to the dock. I watch the sun going down instead of watching the clock. Cleaning the fish, I make the pelicans a deal. Hang out for a while and I'll give you all a meal. I love the wind, the water, the waves, and the sun. I'm living my life just trying to have fun. Lucky Jack and I are just hanging around, 'cause life is good in my saltwater playground. All right.
Yeah, with Mr. Tim Campbell, the band leader, lead guitarist, vocalist for the Tropical Attitudes Band. And he's just blessed us with one of his original songs here, Tiki Tim's Trop Rock Tributes, also on Shore Life Radio at shoreliferadio.com. So we have time for a couple more songs and then a couple more questions. What's your next one, Tim?
This was one, I don't know if you know a guy named Fred Wonder out there, but he always tells me that he likes this song. And this was one that I had written about kind of a guy for living up north who really wants to just run to the south whenever the cold weather starts to set in.
Yeah, it sounds like
So
me.
this one's called Run to the South.
Live up north and I'm sick of the winters, chopping wood for the fire, and I'm tired of the splinters. A friend of mine down south said, give me a call. So I jumped in the car and I pointed it south. Someone said it's too hot. I said, shut your mouth. I'll never complain about the heat down in Florida. I run to the south when it starts to snow, to a place where it's warm and the palm trees grow. It's shorts and sandals all year round. My final destination is paradise found. My latitude problem is getting me down. I know exactly what to do, and that's get out of town. Gonna find me a piece of paradise that I can call mine. I'm ready to get there, so I'll drive real fast, hoping winters are now just a thing of the past. I can't wait to see that welcome to Florida sign. And I run to the south when it starts to snow, to a place where it's warm and the palm trees grow. It's shorts and sandals all year round. My final destination is paradise found. I bought a little bungalow not far from the beach. I always thought that paradise was too far to reach. Raised in Virginia on the side of a ridge. Now I live on an island just over the bridge. On Christmas morning I hear a coconut flop. When New Year's rolls around I watch the red shoe drop. In January the honey bells taste so sweet. Turn on the TV to see the Weather Channel. Girl bundled up like an Eskimo. The snow around her swirls. I'll be sipping from a coconut in a hammock strung from the trees. And I run to the south when it starts to snow, to a place where it's warm and the palm trees grow. It's shorts and sandals all year round. My final destination is paradise found.
All right. Actually, that one, the first time I got to play that in front of people was at Music on the Bay. Bob Banerjee. I don't know if even that name rings a bell or not, but
It doesn't.
he
But
is an amazing violin player as well.
Yeah, we know music of the Bay on the Bay. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we were all in Bob Banerjee's room, and Fred was hanging out there, and I played the song, and Fred's like, "I love that song." So I made sure it got recorded, and that's one of my favorites to play for myself.
Well, we're here with Mr. Tim Campbell, of course, U.S. Marine Corps veteran, retired at this point, but he could always re-enter. That's always an option, isn't it? I mean,
If I wasn't such an old fart, I probably could.
is there a max age for the Marines? I don't know.
There is for going back in, and I think I've exceeded that by quite a bit. I'm like a pirate looks at 50 plus.
Yeah, but couldn't you go back like as like a nasty Marine sergeant?
I have those dreams where I'm back in boot camp again. Nightmares, dreams, whatever they are.
Did you have a nasty sergeant in boot camp?
Oh my God, Sergeant Saddlein. He was the heavy, and he put us through hell. And our senior drill instructor, he was like the one who had to pull him back a little bit every once in a while, because Sergeant Saddlein was a recon Marine, so he was hardcore.
What's a recon Marine?
It's Navy SEALs, but the Marine Corps version of the Navy SEALs are Force Recon. And those guys are like the baddest of the bad. They go in and do all the secret squirrel stuff. And
really, well, everyone says Navy SEALs is the cream of the the top of the top. But you're telling me the recon Marines are above the SEALs?
I would say yes, because I'm a Marine. I would never put anything above the Force Recon guys.
All right, moving on.
Or you get me in trouble.
I may actually. I tried to actually. How about one more tune? We got time for one more tune, and then I got to ask more questions. So.
Okay, one more tune. So this tune is a 100% true story. This is the first song that I had written that Andy Forsyth heard me play at a little place downtown DC. He goes, "Oh, do you have a CD?" I was like, "Oh, I had this MP3." And he took it, and that was the birth of me as a trot rock musician, and brought me to this point right here. So I'm real grateful for Andy taking this song and running with it. And I wrote it on my first trip down to the Bahamas, and it's called Island Time. Everybody has to write an Island Time. So here we go. I was passing through Nassau on my way to Out Islands. My flight
was on a delay. My blood pressure's up, I just can't wait to get there and to chill on a beach at Goat Cay. I don't know why, but no one seems to hurry. They're moving like they just don't care. Watching the clock as it just keeps on ticking, and I feel like I'm going nowhere. I'm here in this place where the seasons don't change, and I bake in the warm sunshine. Where people are smiling and they're always glad to see you, 'cause they're living on island time. Loading the boat for a day on the water. The deckhand was wearing a nice watch. I asked him for the time, he said I couldn't tell you. That watch hasn't worked in 3 months. 'Cause when the sun comes up, it's time to start drinking. I may even be drunk before noon. The time of day, it doesn't really matter. You can rally then howl at the moon. I'm here in a place where the seasons don't change, and I bake in the warm sunshine. People are smiling and they're always glad to see you, 'cause they're living on island time. You can lay in a hammock away from the panic of the life that you live every day. Beer here is cold and the music is hot, and the fish come fresh from the bay. But now I'm back home with the hustle and the bustle. My boss doesn't like me too much, 'cause I'm here in my cube with my new attitude. Now I'm taking my time with the drudge. Wanna be in a place where the seasons don't change, and I bake in the warm sunshine. Where people are smiling and they're always glad to see you, 'cause they're living on island time. Because they're living on island time.
I like that tune. That's a good tune, man.
All right, let me get my ear back in here. All right, that every bit of that song is true, from the deckhand with his watch to being stuck in the airport in Nassau trying to get down there. So that is a song that just completely wrote itself. I just made it rhyme and put it on paper.
Well, that's a good segue, Tim, because my next question, one of my final questions on the show, believe it or not, it's almost been an hour. This Millie kills me if this goes over an hour, because then it cuts into other stuff. And so I'm trying to keep it to an hour. When you go to write a tune, right, do you write it yourself? Do you collaborate with your other bandmates? What is your initial process?
For the songs that I've written up to this point, they've pretty much been me writing. And because I wrote a song called Welcome to Paradise, which is about a beach bum's perspective of being in the war zone. So I wrote that when I was over in Iraq. So yeah, I usually have my own perspective in the songs, but I'm really starting to get into collaborative writing, like with Boomer Blake, and I'm actually heading out of town tomorrow for I'm going to call it a 3-day songwriting scrum with somebody down in Texas. So it's going to be and Daryl, I wrote with Daryl Clanton too. I don't know if if you get a chance to get him on there. That man has quite a story when it comes to his musical career.
Wow. I'm always looking for guest suggestions. Absolutely. You just said something interesting that you didn't say earlier, that you served in Iraq in the Marines?
Actually, not in the Marines.
Okay. What were you doing
as
in
a
Iraq?
contractor?
You were all right. So after the Marines, you were a contractor, civilian contractor in Iraq.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time in war zones over the last 20 years. So.
All right. We don't. That's
I,
like a whole nother show.
That is a whole nother show, and it's going to have to wait for
clearance. Top secret clearance. I don't have top secret clearance, even though my grandfather was in the CIA.
It's forbidden for me to talk about work.
I get it. Moving on. So when you go to write lyrics, right, and some of your lyrics are pretty provocative, pretty descriptive, are you writing the lyrics first? Are you writing the guitar part? Is it a mishmash, or how does it all fall out for you?
It's for me, it is a mishmash. That's a good way to put it, because I'll come up with a concept and then I'll write down. I like to tell stories in my songs. I like there to be like a point. It's almost like a progression of either 3 different stories for 3 different verses or one story kind of blended into the verses. So I'll come up with the story I want to tell and then the things that I want to get in there. And at that point, nothing rhymes. So I'm like, then I'll sit down with the guitar and say, how do I want this song to feel? Do I want it to be happy? Do I want it to kind of have something a little more melodic, which, you know, usually isn't me. Usually it's a happy song because I don't have sad songs in me. So I start doing that. And then once I get that feel, then that gives me, then I just need to make the words fit into that, melody that I put together.
What a great, you just said something interesting. What a great song title. I don't have sad songs in me. That's a hit.
I can never play the blues. I haven't suffered enough.
All right. So I usually end the show. You've been a great guest with this question for young people out there, a lot younger than you and I, coming out of music college, still in music college, didn't go to music college, just hit the road with their axe, with their keyboard, with their instrument, or aspire to do so. It's been a really tough year for music industry in general. What advice can you have for these really young people that are looking at an industry and saying, can I make it?
Well, I say don't fake it. Write. You have to be who you are, and if you write to that, people will connect with it. You can't, like I say, if I'm not country, but I'm like, hey, country's the big genre right now, I can't become country. So be who you are. Write what you know, and just be passionate about what you're doing, because I'm totally passionate about trop rock. Because before I ever picked up a guitar, I was a fan. I was a volleyball player when I was in the Marine Corps. I actually played volleyball for the Marine Corps, if you could believe that, on the all Marine volleyball team. So I was a beach bum from way back, and so the music I was a huge fan of before I ever picked up a guitar. And I picked up a guitar to learn how to play Margaritaville around a campfire. And so this whole thing just happened. Can I tell you a quick story?
Sure.
My neighbor was the guitar player in the Army band with Emily, and I was walking behind. I was helping him build his hot rod, and I was walking behind it, and his exhaust tip had a real sharp burr on it that laid my leg open all the way to the muscle. Oh, no. So I went to the hospital, got sewn up, and I came back, and he's like, you got to let me pay for the hospital bills. I'm like, nah, insurance is taking care of it. Teach me how to play guitar, and we'll call it even. So that's how I started learning to play guitar, all because I had to go to the hospital.
That's fantastic. I love that story. That's a great ending note. Of course, this show has gone way too fast tonight. It feels like a half an hour, and it's been an hour. And I wasn't even rambling tonight.
That was my job tonight.
Well, Tim, we're going to have to get you back on. Again, we're here with Tim Campbell. He is the guitarist, vocalist, band leader for the Tropical Attitudes Band. You can check him out, I think, at timcampbellmusic.com. Or you can
tropicalatitudesband.com. I use the band's website for myself.
Well, I totally blew that one.
That's quite all right.
So the accurate website adjustment is tropicalatitudesband.com. Or you just go, and search on Facebook for Tim or that band name, and you'll find him there as well. They got a bunch of originals up there. They got a bunch of videos up on YouTube as well. You can. What is your YouTube handle?
Well, being Tim Campbell, and that is a whole different thing. That's my vlog where I do usually 10 to 15 minutes of the dumbest stuff you'll ever see on the internet, but and you'll never get that time back.
Wait a minute. So we're extending the program tonight. I'm sorry, Millie, because I'm jumping on that line of question. I'm a former newspaper reporter long time ago. I'm a full-time drummer now, but at one point I was a reporter, and so I have that sixth sense in me to jump on a question. What is that blog all about you're talking about?
It just started off. I just wanted to just do goofy stuff. Like I bought a red Swingline stapler, and I was like, I need to tell the story. So I started with that as my first episode, and it just progressed. And I did a thing about plant-based food, and then there's something Patty's getting for me you have to see.
Yes.
It's the Gotta Go Flamingo was on one of my episodes, and it's this flamingo, and he sits on this toilet. So I review, products that we have to have like this.
Oh, that's priceless. I
a
want
lot
one.
of, a lot of stuff that
Are you
just
selling
you'll
that
never
on
get that time
Amazon?
back.
Is that for sale on Amazon?
It is, yeah. The Gotta Go Flamingo, and
Gotta
it got
go.
great reviews on the Being Tim Campbell channel. So check that out. Go look at these.
So
And
being
we have a
Tim
lot of fun,
Campbell
Patty and I, putting those
channel.
together.
I'm gonna have to. Listen. I've been trumped. That's the first. That I did not discover that in my research. I did not see your blog. I missed that. I apologize.
That's
to
quite
my
all right.
fans, to my two
Instead
fans.
of being John Malkovich, it's being Tim Campbell.
So for all our listeners tonight and in the future, this will be rebroadcast on again as a Facebook Live thing in the coming days. It'll also be on YouTube as a what do they call it? A premiere, and then it'll appear this Sunday evening at 8 p.m. on Shore Life Radio. Now I'm still learning how to make this show actually be live at the same time on Shore Life Radio. Millie set me up with all the controls and the logins this week to do that. I'm still figuring it out, man. I haven't figured it out. I have my account created, but I need to take a couple tutorials before we can make this show go live direct to Shore Life at the same time. But I am working on it, Millie. I promise you. I will give a couple quick previews. This coming Sunday night, God willing, because it was supposed to happen tonight. And Tim, thank you so much for coming in on the show. But Mr. Roger Guth was supposed to be on the show tonight. Of course, Roger Guth is the longtime 32-year drummer for Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band, and I'm not kidding that I had him lined up for my show. A fishing expedition came up, which I kind of knew about, so it was always tentative, and it came through for him, and so he's actually fishing right now somewhere off the coast of Nashville, Tennessee. I don't know where he is, but we're going to have him
say
on.
hi to Millie and say, Millie Marie, how you doing?
This Sunday at right here at Tim Kane Drums, Facebook.com/Tim Kane Drums. We're going to have Roger Guth on from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Very special program with a lot of special things planned. And in addition to that, I can say as the drummer for the Island Castaways Band, we have a new single out, Return to Cayo Heso, that was written by our new bandmate, Jim O'Brien, who came in last September and wrote this tremendous song. And our band leader, Joe Havla, had this great idea to ask Doyle from Jimmy Buffett's Coral Reefer Band to play pedal steel guitar on it, and he agreed to do it. And so this is a premiere, if you will, of Return to Cayo Heso by the Island Castaways Band. We're going to end the show with this tonight. I just have to punch it up on my phone. It's a little awkward to make that happen, share screen and all that. But, Tim, you've been a great guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
And here we go.
Gee, it's good to be back here again. This protocol has always been a friend. My soul rests so easy where it is warm and breezy, and palm trees gently sway in the wind. Sound of music permeates the air. Calypsos and merengues everywhere. Bodies are in motion down here by the ocean, where the thrill of sunset never disappears. Sunny day, island waves, tropical depression's far